She has brought millions, I wouldn't be surprised if it's billions of eyes onto the W and onto women's sports. She is a Kobe Bryant. And that's how Diana was. That's how Sue was. Like, we've had these types of people, but this is just bigger because the media platform is bigger than it ever has been. I don't have an ego, so I'm able to just tell the truth. Like, if it was someone else, I'd be like, yeah, like Angel Reese, she's also brought millions of fans. You know what I mean? I think Caitlyn has brought way more, but I also think she has too. Like, I'm just not naive, and I might be blonde, but I'm not fucking dumb. People who say I'm clout chaser, no, I'm just being honest about why the league is where it is at. Give the girls the flowers, like, give it to them. They deserve it.
What if the one person destined to save a league was being torn down from the inside? For months, fans have watched in disbelief as the WNBA's biggest star, Caitlin Clark, has been targeted, shoved, and disrespected by the very players who should be thanking her. But while the league stayed silent, one woman decided she'd seen enough. Sophie Cunningham isn't just speaking out, she's exposing the dark truth of a league consumed by jealousy, and her story reveals a conspiracy that goes far deeper than anyone imagined.
Cunningham, if it wasn't for Sophie Cunningham's podcast, I never would have had this eureka moment. Sophie Cunningham came to the Indiana Fever in the offseason. She's been taking full advantage of every opportunity she's got. An opportunity on the court, ballin'. An opportunity to protect Caitlin Clark, did that. Off the court, endorsement deals. Off the court, advertisers are falling in love with her. We got Colin Cowherd saying, hey, Sophie, you want your own podcast? Sophie Cunningham says, sure, I'll take my own podcast. And what has Sophie Cunningham been doing on this podcast? Letting us in on some secrets? Yeah, I love that. Pulling back the curtain on some time? Yeah, I love that too.
What makes Sophie Cunningham's defense of Caitlin Clark so powerful is that she was doing it long before the cameras were watching. This wasn't a calculated move for fame or followers. This was a veteran player recognizing a generational talent while her own teammates were whispering behind closed doors. Cunningham was praising Clark's game back when others in the league were plotting how to intimidate her, making Sophie a lone voice of reason in a storm of resentment. She saw the future, and she wasn't afraid to stand with it, even if it meant standing alone.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love.
That future has a name, the Caitlin Clark effect. It's not a theory, it's a verifiable phenomenon. Arenas that were once half empty are now sold out. TV ratings have shattered records that stood for over 2 decades. Charter flights, a luxury players have fought for years, are suddenly a reality largely because of the attention she brings. While other players were trying to downplay her impact, Sophie Cunningham had the business sense to see exactly what was happening, a rising tide that could lift all boats. If only the other players would stop trying to sink the ship.
Ultimately, when you see all this vitriol of people who cannot stand her, it's like, okay, well, what has she done wrong?
Yeah.
She's a great basketball player, so you might not think it's fair that she's the face of the league, and that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be appreciative of that and say, maybe it's not fair, but it's not your fault.
And I get other players, like they've worked hard and they've worked to build this league up over their time, and all of a sudden this young player comes in and now all the attention is on her. And
but the jealousy was too strong to ignore. The most blatant evidence came during the All-Star voting. While fans voted for Caitlin Clark in record numbers, over 1.2 million votes, more than any other player, her own peers ranked her as the 9th best guard in the league. It was a move so petty and transparent that sports analyst Dick Vitale called it absolutely pure jealousy. He was right. And while the world was just waking up to this ugly truth, Sophie Cunningham had been calling it out for months.
But time and time again, Sophie Cunningham has repeatedly been calling out the officiating. And what's one thing the WNBA holds over these players' heads? Ooh, I'm going to fine you. Ooh, if you call out the officiating, I'm going to fine you. And the players say, no, I can't afford that. So they keep it all hush-hush. But Sophie Cunningham, she's sitting on a pile of money. So when Kathy Engelbert hears her say something about the referees, Kathy says, here's a fine. And Sophie says, okay, here's payment.
This is what separates Sophie from so many others in the WNBA. She understands that this is a business. When a single player's debut draws 2.7 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA game in 25 years, you don't attack that player, you protect her, you build your brand around her. Sophie gets it. This isn't just about one season or one player, it's about securing the financial future and mainstream relevance of women's basketball for years to come. But that simple logic seems to be lost on a league that can't see the forest for the trees.
So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan. And I said this last year several times. The WNBA is not a vertical league. Their players can't jump over each other to score like the NBA. It's a horizontal chippy league. And you didn't watch the NBA for the last 10 to 12 years. It has always been physical and always been chippy. You get into a lot of collisions because there's no Ja Morant here. There's no Ant Edwards. They don't jump over. It's a horizontal physical league. And Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her.
But what Sophie Cunningham revealed next would expose the dark underbelly of the league's attitude toward Clark. On her podcast, she dropped a bombshell about her time with the Phoenix Mercury. She admitted that during Clark's rookie season, there were explicit conversations in the locker room about targeting her. I know the talks Phoenix had, she confessed, of like, we're gonna show her what the W really is. This wasn't just competition, it was a coordinated plan to intimidate the very player who was saving their league.
I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing. She's still young, and I think that I've been taken under, Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge, and when you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody, and so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that like just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, I stick up for myself.
Sophie acknowledged that every rookie faces a tough welcome, but what's happening to Clark is different. Every rookie coming into the league will get some of it, Cunningham admitted. But there's just more for her. Now, as Clark's teammate, she sees the relentless targeting up close, and she's had enough. Being on her team and seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? It's just too much. When a tough seasoned veteran like Sophie says a line has been crossed, you know it's gone far beyond basketball.
Like I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of like, no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And like I get it to a certain extent, and like every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and like now being on her team and like seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? Like actually, it's just too much. And like it's just, I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so fair.
Like that's fair, right?
Yeah.
The breaking point finally came during a game that had the entire sports world talking. After Caitlin Clark was poked in the eye and then shoved to the ground, the referees did almost nothing. So with less than a minute on the clock, Sophie delivered her own form of justice. As the player who had fouled Clark headed for an easy layup, Sophie grabbed her and dragged her to the floor. It wasn't a dirty play, it was a message. A message that if the league wouldn't protect its biggest star, her teammates would.
It just feels like people are jealous of this new little wave of
they are
rookies.
But I just hate that because like this is what we've always wanted as a league, so like who cares who gets the credit? And if you're smart, you're making money off of them.
Yeah,
like you are literally making money from the viewership.
And what she made the chirp was about how she didn't help plan the fucking
who cares
shirts.
Like who cares? You know what I mean? Like I just hate when like people do stuff to get, it's like clickbait.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and there's so much clickbait, especially surrounding Caitlin. And so like, it's just like, just be nice. Like, why can't people just be nice?
Yeah.
That's what I don't Coming from the girl who
I was just saying we just
dragged
talked for 2
someone
hours about how
down.
you fucking beat someone up.
Just be nice. It's not that hard.
But where was the league in all of this? Their response was nothing short of a disgrace. While players were openly targeting Clark on the court, the WNBA seemed more concerned with policing post-game interviews. They fined Angel Reese for refusing to speak to the media after a particularly rough game against Clark. Yet the flagrant foul that started the controversy resulted in a slap on the wrist. The message was clear: maintaining appearances was more important than protecting their most valuable asset. The league's deafening silence on the targeting of Clark spoke volumes, showing a level of incompetence that bordered on intentional sabotage.
The impact that Caitlyn has, that's where players would be wise to kind of uplift Caitlyn even more, or try and catapult her, because it only does wonders for the league. Like, they are able to wear "pay me what you owe me" shirts because they're getting a new TV rights deal because of Caitlyn Clark. So like there's so many sides to this, but like at the end of the day, it's what's best for the league, and it's what's best for these players individually if Caitlyn Clark kind of continues to build.
The reaction from the public was immediate and overwhelming. Within 24 hours of her defensive foul, Sophie's social media following exploded from a few 100,000 to over 1.2 million. Fans weren't just cheering for a hard foul, they were cheering because someone finally had the guts to do what everyone was thinking. Sophie later said, "I didn't do that for clickbait. I stand up for my teammates." But the fans saw it as something more. It was a stand against the jealousy that was threatening to ruin the WNBA's golden moment.
Not last week, a couple days ago, when Caitlyn Clark got destroyed, her girl Sophie came to her defense, and this was the most beast mode thing that I've seen a woman do in WNBA history. I'm not for the violence, you know what I'm saying? But I am for you saying, if y'all want to get busy out here, we can get busy out here. And I know we got some clips of Sophie outside of basketball going to the game, so I just want to put the whole picture together, right? Good at basketball, she's fighting back for Caitlyn Clark. And then, you know, she showed up to the games.
In the vacuum of leadership left by the WNBA, Sophie Cunningham unwillingly became the league's unofficial enforcer. It's a tragic irony that in a professional sports league, the most popular player needs a bodyguard on the court, not to protect her from rowdy fans, but from her own colleague. The fact that fans celebrated Sophie's foul more than any other play in the game revealed just how broken the system had become. They were rewarding the one person who was doing the job the referees and the commissioner's office refused to do.
So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan. And I said this last year several times. The WNBA is not a vertical league. Their players can't jump over each other to score like the NBA. It's a horizontal, chippy league. And you didn't watch the NBA for the last 10 to 12 years. It has always been physical and always been chippy. You get into a lot of collisions because there's no Ja Morant here. There's no Ant Edwards. They don't jump over. It's a horizontal, physical league. And in Caitlyn Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her.
Sophie's frustration has only grown louder on her podcast, where she doesn't hold back. "It literally pisses me off when people are like, 'She's not the face of the league.'" She said, "You're dumb." She's quick to praise the other incredible players in the WNBA, but refuses to let their egos get in the way of a simple fact. Denying that Caitlyn Clark is the current face of the league isn't just an opinion, it's a denial of mathematical reality, and Sophie is done pretending otherwise.
The way that Caitlyn thinks of the game, that's a really close second. And so they're always 10 plays ahead of everyone. They're always on a different wavelength. And I'm just happy that I got my time with DG. I love her to death. I'm so excited to watch her docuseries. I think she deserves the world and more. I know she's enjoying retirement, probably going crazy because she's also psycho, and I've said that multiple times. But it's been fun to be a sponge, and then kind of talking with Caitlyn, you know, just kind of seeing that she's at the beginning of her professional career, but there's a lot of similarities there.
The jealousy and gatekeeping reached its peak with one of the most controversial decisions in recent sports history, leaving Caitlyn Clark off the USA Olympic basketball team. Here was the single most popular and talked about basketball player in the world, man or woman, and the committee decided she wasn't needed. The official excuses about experience and chemistry rang hollow to millions of fans who saw it as the ultimate act of betrayal by the establishment, a final desperate attempt to keep the spotlight away from the newcomer and on the old guard. What makes the on-court hostility even more outrageous is the league's staggering financial hypocrisy. Every team in the WNBA is cashing in on Clark mania. Teams are moving their games against the Indiana Fever to massive NBA arenas just to accommodate the unprecedented ticket demand. They are charging premium prices for seats that were once given away for free. They want Caitlin Clark's money, her fans, and her TV ratings. They just don't want her to get the credit. It's a cynical cash grab, and it exposes the deep-seated resentment running through the league. While the league office was busy with damage control and issuing weak statements, Sophie Cunningham was cashing in on her courage. Her agency quickly lined up new endorsement deals with major brands, and her podcast became an instant success. The market sent a clear message: integrity sells. Her new opportunities are set to earn her far more than her WNBA salary, proving that fans and brands are desperate to support someone who stands for what's right, even when the league itself won't. This entire saga has exposed a war for the WNBA's soul. On one side, you have the old guard, represented by comments like Diana Taurasi's infamous warning that reality is coming for Clark. Theirs is a mentality of gatekeeping, of forcing newcomers to earn their stripes in a league they feel they exclusively own. On the other side is Sophie Cunningham's vision. A league that embraces growth, welcomes new fans, and celebrates its stars instead of punishing them. It's a battle between a small, insular club and a global entertainment powerhouse, and Sophie is fighting for the future. The WNBA has been given a lottery ticket in Caitlin Clark, but instead of cashing it in, many within the league seem intent on tearing it to shreds. Sophie Cunningham's revelations have exposed a toxic culture that threatens to sabotage the greatest opportunity in the sport's history. The choice is simple: listen to Sophie and protect the future, or let jealousy drag the entire league back into irrelevance. Time is running out, and Sophie has made it clear she's done waiting for a league that refuses to get out of its own way.